All right. So this is the number one character trait that you need to stop quitting, to stop slacking off, to stop the procrastination cycle of repeating the same days over and over again. This is it. This is what you need. All right. No slop, no nothing, just plain knowledge of what you need. All right. So, all right, let's just go. All right. So, why should you listen to me? So, in 2020, I was feeling quite depressed. All this nonsense. I was feeling depressed about the things I shouldn't really have felt depressed about. But basically, I got onto self improvement, and things are looking way better now. And I can do a lat spread, and I can do some muscle ups, and I think that's enough for me to prove. Anyway, so let's just get to the point. So there are four most common reasons why people quit. These are four most common reasons why people quit. So the first one is, let's see, the first one is, I believe, boredom. All right. So the first one is boredom. So that's self-explanatory, as all of the other things are going to look like. But basically, the work that's in front of you, the task that's in front of a person, just feels boring and empty. It doesn't have the substance, so it just feels boring. So that's why the person quits. And the second thing would be lack of perceived importance. And then the third thing would be that the person feels as if the effort is isn't worth it as well. Then the fourth thing would be, let's say, a feeling of incapability. And I think these are the main reasons. Obviously, there are such things as fear of failure, which leads us to fear of judgment, lack of progress is why people also quit. So we can overcome all these things, but we can get through them and not get affected by these things that I just wrote down. And so basically, you're not going to get where you want to be until you have more of this one thing called grit. This is the answer. This is the answer that you've been looking for. This is what you need. This is literally all you need. That's all you need. You don't need no complicated things to get your hands on, no complicated knowledge that you need to find out. This is it. This is it. Grit. So basically, gritty individuals are more likely to persist in pursuing high level goals despite challenges like these, like boredom, like lack of perceived importance. Like whenever they feel boredom, lack of perceived importance, a person who's more gritty is way more likely to persist either way and get to his goal way more efficiently and way faster than the person who is less gritty. The less gritty a person is, basically, the more he's going to get affected by these things. And so, what is grit? You're probably asking yourself, what actually is grit? So, grit is made out of two components, let's say. And the first one, as you can see, is passion, and then there is perseverance. These two things are what make up grit. And a lot of people see this word passion and they just think, oh, well, that this word is just so vague. I mean, what do you mean by passion? Well, once you get the definition, everything becomes so much more crystal clear. And so passion, what passion really means is you have sustained interest in an activity. So passion means you have sustained interest in an activity, prolonged interest in an activity. And it's not like it just appears to you, like you're just passionate. Like a lot of people are just looking for their passion. It's not about looking for your passion, and it's not like it just appears to you. You have to go and try new things. You have to go and just expose yourself. That's what leads to sustained interest in an activity. That's what leads to becoming interested in something. Exposure. The more you expose yourself to things, and then after you find that thing that you quite like, you expose yourself to it way more and more, you become more and more interested in that thing, and in result, you become more passionate. And then there's the second component, as I said, which is perseverance, which really just means that you have resilience and you have effort. So resilience, basically, a lot of people also don't know the idea behind resilience, what it actually means. Resilience is basically demonstrated through your ability to get up after failure. So the more resilient you are, the more you get up after failure. Like the more you don't try and blame yourself, you get up after failure, and then you put in the effort and you try even harder. And as a result, you get more results. So passion plus perseverance equals grit. This is all you really need to reach your goals. So what builds grit, right? So these are the 4 pillars of grit, right? So what you need is you need to find your interest, right? So it could become the sustained interest, the prolonged interest, which in result becomes your passion. So basically, you need to find your interest by just going out and doing something, trying new things, not being afraid of trying out new things. That's the only way you'll expose yourself to something that's interesting. That's the only way you'll become more curious and find more interests. And so what interest does is that it starts the fire, which leads you to your passion. It all makes sense. So then there's practice, which builds skills through focused effort. Basically just deliberate practice, all right? So which in result gives you competence. You become way more competent. And who doesn't want that? Like the more competent you are, the more you want to go after that thing. So you have to keep in mind that you have to work toward it. It's an unskippable thing that you just cannot avoid. Then there's purpose. You need to know if you want to be more gritty, you need to define your purpose. What result do you want to get after a specific amount of goals that you achieve. Like it, purpose is what gives you meaning. So basically, the difference between a person who has purpose and who does not is that the person who does have purpose, he not only serves himself, but he also serves others. So not only do you make life for yourself better since you're passionate and all of that stuff, but you also, because of your purpose, you also, as a result, make other people's lives better. You bring value to people. So you have to define your purpose, right? And then there's hope, which keeps you in the game when it hurts. And what it really means is it's not the kind of hope that you're hoping for someone for someone from the external world to come and save you, but you have this hope inside of you, hope in yourself that you'll overcome any challenge that you're going to have to confront, that you will overcome any challenge like you did in the past. So you have hope for yourself. So these are the things that you need. There's one more thing which I'll include in the list, which I think is already included in the list and the next slide. But basically, how do you become gritty? How do you become more gritty? So you have to fuel your interest. You have to feel this obsession. You have to get obsessed about something as much as possible, which, yes, as you know already, it brings out your passion. Then you have to practice deliberately. As we've said before, you have to tie your work to something bigger, purpose. And you have to refuse to lose hope. You have to believe in yourself. You have to possess deep belief in yourself. You need to possess this deep belief in your own efforts. And you have to, the fifth thing, which I've mentioned, which I wanted to mention before, but I did not include it. But basically, the fifth thing is you have to make your environment work for you, whether it's the people who you surround yourself with, whether it's your friends, whether it's your family, whether it's the foods that you eat, whether it's the content, the TV shows that you consume. You have to optimize everything up to your advantage. You have to make your environment work for you. And so this is how you become more gritty. Persevere, all right? So ultimately, you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision right now whether you want to become more gritty or not. Since a lot of people are just going to watch this video and not really change anything. And well, it's up to them, but if you're the kind of person who's just sick of repeating the same patterns again and again, and who's just sick and tired of just this gruesome procrastination which literally takes out all of your energy, just make a decision to incorporate more grit into your life. You won't regret it. Succeed or die trying.